Thank you very much for joining. My name is Margaret Onuachu, and I'll be your host for today. Today's topic is going to be an interesting one, as we'll be taking you through uncovering forgotten wealth, step-by-step guide to reclaiming your dividends. Thank you very much once again. But before we proceed, I want to have a chit chat with my investors. Dear fellow investors, how has it been? It's been a tough year, we know, and as we all know, at the beginning of the year, we always have some resolutions that we make for ourselves. I am going to save a Z amount of money. I'm going to do a Z amount of investment. My people, how did it go? Or how has it been? Have you been able to achieve that set goal that you had put for yourself? Or are you fallen by the wayside? If you're on the first category, congratulations. I'm sure you're so proud of yourself. And if you're in the second category, it's all right. And congratulations too. 2024 is almost around the corner. We will go again and harder this time. Thank you very much. Don't forget, our topic is uncovering forgotten wealth and step-by-step guide to reclaim your dividends. We have a beautiful outline that is set for you. And we have our facilitators that are on the call who will be taking us through this wonderful and amazing outline. But just before we dig in, we have housekeeping rules. These rules are going to guide us throughout our stay on the call. So if you want to say anything or you have a question, you can please raise your hand and we will give you the opportunity to speak. And you can also drop your comments in the comment section. Thank you very much. And introducing to you Afrinvest. I know you already know the brand, but for those that are coming across us for the first time, Afrinvest Securities Limited is a subsidiary of Afrinvest West Africa Limited. We are licensed by Security and Exchange Commission as a broker dealer with a trading license holder of the Nigerian Exchange. Our businesses are providing trading opportunities to equities, money markets, and debt management instruments. Thank you very much, and we appreciate that you have joined us. I can see the attendees are increasing by the second. This is very, very impressive. The topic of the day is uncovering your forgotten dividends or your unclaimed dividends. What are these dividends, as you would want to ask? Dividends are the profit which you make or which you get from holding a particular share of a company. Let's say you're holding a share of Okumu Oil. Okumu Oil declared dividends of about 4 naira 50 kobo, and the payment was on the 20th of November 2023. Have you claimed that dividend? Have you been credited? If you have not been credited or you don't know how to go about it, it means this webinar is for you. Don't go away, as we'll be introducing our first speaker right into it. Her name is Deborah Akonde. Deborah Akonde is a licensed stockbroker that has practiced for over 10 years. She's experienced. She's going to be taking us through how you can claim, or the overview of unclaimed dividends, and how you can go about claiming this your dividends. Thank you very much. Hello, Deborah. Can you confirm that you're on the call?
Hello, Margaret. Yes, I am on the call. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me today on this call. And I want to say thank you also, and a beautiful good afternoon to our listeners who have created time out of their busy schedule to be with us on this call today, as we are discussing this topic that is very important to us all, particularly if you are an investor in the equities market, in the equity space, be it here in Nigeria or overseas. This topic will interest you. You know, my colleague rightly started by saying that, have you collected the dividend of Okumu? It will interest you to know that some people may have even collected that of Okumu, and they still have numerous unclaimed dividends. So we are not talking about just the present dividends here today. We are talking about even those that have been declared in years past. Have you been able to retrieve? Have you been retrieving? Are you having challenges retrieving this dividend? So she mentioned what dividends are. For those who may be asking, what are these dividends? You know, as an investor in the equity space, you are eligible to part of the profits that the company shared. Whenever this company performed very well, they come out, declare their profit, and they share a part of it with their shareholder. So as a shareholder, your number one right is the dividend, is the part of the profit of the company. It's a sum of money that is being allocated to each shareholder. So when you do not collect this money, you don't claim these funds, it remains in the unclaimed dividend pool. The unclaimed dividend pool of the Nigerian market currently sits at 190 billion. Isn't that mind-blowing? 190 billion naira sitting idle. You are asking why? Why is it so? So many reasons have been adduced for this unclaimed dividends that keeps growing. One of it is the death of a stock of a shareholder. You know, as a shareholder, maybe our fathers of the then in the 90s, in the early 2000s, that were investing, they probably have passed on, and they have not claimed all the dividends that have accrued to their portfolio ever since their death. So these dividends remains there because nobody is coming forth to say it's for our daddy, it's for our mommy, it's for my sister, it's for my uncle. So it continues to build the pool. And also those of us that are still living, so many reasons why our dividends remain unclaimed. In the days of manual system, manual investments, when we do not have the electronic platform, the CSCS platform, dividends are paid in checks, like in paper form. You all remember checks now. When you have to wait 2 days, 3 days to clear these checks, you go to the post office to pick up these checks. Some people don't find time to go to the post office back then. Some go to the post office and they don't even find their dividends. They don't find anything in their inboxes, maybe due to a lost in transit or so many reasons. It could even be that when you were investing, when you were buying the shares, there was a naming error. There was a mistake in the spelling of your name. So many reasons have been adduced, but that's not why we are here today. We are here to uncover how you can claim these dividends. Whether lost, forgotten, you don't even know their whereabouts, is the reason we are on this call today. And I would encourage you to please pay attention as we continue. The other time I was giving you that mind-blowing statistics that Nigeria currently, the Nigerian equities market currently has 190 billion. 190 billion, can you beat that? 190 billion sitting idle without gaining any interest or being put into any use. So since 1990, the track record has been from 2 billion naira in 1990, and it has progressed. Year on year, it has been progressing despite the efforts of the regulators, despite the efforts of market operators to try to educate people, to try to educate investors, to go all out and claim their dividends. So that's why we're doing this today. We are showing us the reasons why you should claim these dividends. Number one, I had mentioned this. I don't want to overflog it. When you leave these dividends unclaimed, they remain as idle funds. There's no two ways to it. They remain as idle funds because the registrars that are in possession of these dividends, they can't hold it more than 15 months. They are stipulated by law to return these dividends back to the company that had declared them. And the company also are not, there's no provision for them by the law to make do of anything as regarding those dividends. They will just leave it idle in the bank. They are not growing it for you. It's not earning any form of interest. So you don't want to continue to leave these funds idle. Another reason why you should claim your dividends is because it's until you claim your dividends, you do not have your full benefits yet as an equity market investor. Until you claim these dividends, your full benefit is not accrued to you yet. You may be saying that, yes, I make gains when I trade stocks. Yes, you make gains, but when you earn profit, when you earn dividends alongside the capital gain that you make, then you'll be saying you have your full 100% return on investment. So it helps you to track your return on investments. Claiming your dividends help you to track your return on investment, and you are able to make informed decisions. You know, when you're able to track the return that you earn on your investment, particularly that of the equities market, you will be able to make informed decisions for future investments. This is what I mean. Take, for instance, you are a shareholder with Guaranty Trust Bank. Last year, you know that cumulatively Guaranty Trust Bank paid 3 naira to their shareholder per unit of every share that you're holding. So if you own 100,000 units, for instance, you were paid 270,000 or 280,000, given that your dividend is taxable. The 10% withholding tax apply, and then you get this. And you already know in your mind that if I put in more money, if I invest more money into GTB, I'm able to buy more shares. It means I will earn more dividends. So that way, it's informing your investment decision. So many other reasons that you could count for why you should claim your dividends. As we go on, let us see what these reasons are. There are other values that your dividend stands to give to you. Your dividends can be reinvested. It can be reinvested in another asset. Even in the same asset that are giving you this dividend, your dividend can be reinvested. When you get your dividends today, you're asking, how do I go about this? When your dividend is credited to your bank account, you want to plow it back into that investment that has paid you so much. Or you even want to look at what other viable investment opportunities are open to me. You want to put that money into it and then continue to grow your wealth, continue to build your portfolio. Your dividends can also help you to take care of your short to medium term objective obligations, financial obligation. You know, as human beings, we all have different obligations at different points in time. Sometimes it's payments of school fees. Other times you are settling one house bill, house rent, water, NEPA bill, so many bills that come our way. You know, we cannot do away with without bills. So dividends can come in handy at the point in time when you have a short obligation to meet. You will just be smiling because it's as if somebody has dashed you money at that point in time. So your dividend can be used to settle your financial obligations. Your dividend can also help you to manage your finances properly. As an investor, you know, you have various other needs. Investment is just one of the things that you need to do to continue to stay financially free. But there are some other things that you desire to do. Maybe you want to enjoy yourself, you want to give yourself a special treat, you want to go on a holiday. Nobody likes hard life. You all want to benefit from earning money and making our money work for us. That's the essence of your investment. That's why you invested. So when this dividend come back to you, you can plan those other desires of yours around it. Like I have a friend who is an investor with me, who plans her vacation, yearly vacation. She plans it with a dividend that she collects every time. So when you have your dividends, you are able to properly manage your cash flow management in a nutshell. Let me just put it that way. Your cash flow management is properly managed. Your financial needs, you no longer have panicky because you cannot settle those things. So claiming dividend is doing yourself a great good and also a great service to the economy. So now you're asking, if I don't claim my dividend, what do I stand to lose? Oh dear, you don't want to know. You do not want to know. You stand to lose a lot. Currently, I bet that some people on this call already have their dividend lying unclaimed for over 12 years. It will shock you to know that the law stipulates that when you have your dividend lying unclaimed for close to 12 years, you forfeit it forever. Because your dividend goes statute bar. You can no longer claim it. It's gone and it's gone. Somebody will say, you know, that is it. It's gone. When you leave it there for close to 12 years, you don't want to do this. And that is why we are encouraging you this day to please take your time to take action on the steps that we are going to be showing you shortly. So what are those consequences? What are the risks that you stand if you do not claim your dividend? I have said this before. You will continue to be among the statistics, the people who continues to grow that pool. And then growing that pool is reducing the impact, the effect, or the potential of our economy, the Nigerian economy, to grow. Is reducing that potential because the money is not in supply, it's not in circulation, it's not being put into any other use. So you don't want to do this. Again, if you do not claim your dividends, it just remains idle. It remains idle. It's as good as you leaving your money in your bank account and forgetting it there. In fact, your bank account is even far better than this one because some banks will even still say, okay, they are charging you, at least you will get debit alert. This one, you're not even getting anything. You don't even have any knowledge of what you have until you go out to claim it. That is when you will know. If you continue to leave your dividends unclaimed, you are also hampering the capital markets of Nigeria. If we continue to grow that pool, the credibility of the capital markets is being washed. People on the foreign climb, they look at the Nigerian market and begin to wonder, why is this thing growing day in, day out? Is it that there is no system in place for people to claim their dividends? Or is it that the system is cumbersome, not knowing that the regulators have actually taken steps to help investors? It's now left to investors to come boldly forward and claim what is rightly theirs. If you continue to leave your dividends, again, I say, you may wake up one morning and hear that the government are taking over this dividend. Don't say it's not possible. 2 years ago, the government made this move. Government made this move in 2021 to borrow from the pool of unclaimed dividends, thanks to the efforts of capital market stakeholders that resisted this move. Otherwise, by now, we probably would be singing a different story, a different song entirely. So we don't want to wake up to that news again. And that is why we are doing this. We are encouraging you to please take the time, as we'll show you in the next slide, the steps, very simple, practical approach. As a matter of fact, it's something you can do by yourself. It's a do-it-yourself approach that I'm bringing our way today. So you're on this call, it means you already have the first prerequisite. You have internet. Internet is all that you need to be able to claim your dividends. You may be wondering, why does she say internet? I've always had this internet now. So why didn't I collect my dividend? Oh dear, it's not so simple. You need to take some steps. Number one of which is you go on your Google search. Thankfully, Google is our friend. Everybody knows this. Go on Google search. If you can remember at all the name of the company that you have ever invested in, if you have bought into the shares of any company, maybe recently or in time past, maybe your dad, maybe your mom, any of your loved ones that you know, or you have come across a dividend stub in your house, that paper check, you have seen it somewhere, or a certificate of shares, you have seen it somewhere, it means somebody in your house is a beneficiary of this call right now. And we would like you to pay attention to these steps as you will be sharing with them later on. Step number one is that you should search. Go on Google and search. Put the name of the company that you have invested in. Search for their registrars. Go on Google now and say, Google, please, who is the registrar of the Guarantee Trust Bank Company? Google will supply you in a GV. Who is the registrar to Dangote Cement PLC? Google will not waste time to do this for you. And once Google brings this name for you, the step number two that you should take is to go to the website of these registrars. Go straight to their website, download their e-dividend mandate form. The e-dividend mandate form, you know, I mentioned that before now, dividends were paid in checks and in paper form. We no longer do that in the capital market of Nigeria, thankfully, thanks to technology. Your e-dividend mandate form is just like you writing a letter to the registrar to say, going forward, I, Mr. So and so, I am mandating you, I am instructing you to pay my dividend into this bank account that I have supplied in this form. You fill this form as all the required details that you have been required of on the form. Fill them out correctly. I like to emphasize this step number three. Fill this form out correctly, because whatever is worth doing well, doing at all is what we do it well. Is what that you take the time, fill this form correctly, your bank details, ensure that it is correctly spelled out on the form. There may be some parts of the form that you may not be sure of, maybe your CSCS details. Your stockbroker is available. You can reach out to your stockbroker. And our app, our mobile app, also have a feature where you can see your CSCS details. You go on the app, you go to your broker, request your CSCS details, and also fill that CSCS details on the form. Some of the e-dividend forms, some of the registrars, they have quite a number of companies they manage. So when you are holding on to one e-dividend form, sometimes you may be doing like killing plenty birds with one stone. You can have as much as 5 stocks that you have invested in one registrar. So when you are filling the form, you want to take the pain to look at the right-hand side of that form. Look at the companies that have been listed. Do I have shares in any of this company? You tick them out. Tick the boxes. Ignore the registrar account number part of it. You may not know that, and it's not even necessary. Tick those boxes and then go on to scan or snap. However, make this very legible. Your scanned copy must be very, very legible. It must be bold, very clear, and void of ambiguity. Do not cancel, do not erase out anything. Then you are on your way to claiming your dividend. You send it to their email address and ask them to please see your dividend mandate, meaning you are mandating them going forward by this instruction, pay my dividend into this account. And that is it. As simple as ABC. You have your dividends in your bank account. Thank you so much for listening to me this afternoon. Thank you, Margaret. Over to you now.
Thank you very much, Deborah, for that detailed presentation. And I'm sure that my investors are on this call, that they have taken notes. So just to add, I have a retiree friend that is surviving solely on his dividends. That is to show us that the power of dividends and the power of this equities market. So if you have shares, you can structure your shares in such a way that you are buying shares into you're buying into shares that pays dividend consistently. You can structure your dividends. You can know when dividend is coming in, what I want to do with my dividends, and you can achieve it. This is very, very interesting. And when you're filling that e-dividend mandate form, just to add to what my colleague Deborah has said, all your outstanding dividends, aside the current ones, if you have pending dividends, it's going to be credited to your bank account. Thank you very much, Debbie. Please feel free to drop your questions in the question box and in the comment section. We will dive into that shortly and read out your questions and give you answers accordingly. We will be introducing our second speaker. His name is Michel Daniel. He's a stockbroker and has been practicing for over 7 years. He will be taking us on preventing unclaimed dividends. How can we prevent this unclaimed dividend situation from happening? Hello, Michel. I can see that you're on the call. Thank you very much for joining. Can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, Margaret. Also confirm you can hear me.
Loud and clear. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much, Margaret, for the introduction. And once again, welcome you all to another episode of our webinar series. We are so excited to have you on this call. If you're just joining us, we are discussing uncovering forgotten wealth. I'm sure we already have questions. Don't worry, we are here to answer all your inquiries. I'm sure most of us might even be asking, how do we prevent issues or further occurrences of unclaimed dividends in our portfolio? Briefly, we'll be looking at a few steps to prevent issues of unclaimed dividends. But before we proceed, let's just briefly do a recap on how shares are acquired. The first is through the primary market. So here in the primary market, investors buy shares directly from the issuers or the company. And this is done mainly through initial public offerings or IPOs, as is well known. So this means the investors are first owners or direct owners of these shares. The second way is through the secondary market. And in the secondary market, investors buy these shares from other investors on the floor of the Nigerian exchange. So this means that the ownership of the shares bought must be transferred. And this brings us to the first step in preventing issues of unclaimed dividends. So as at the point of buying shares on the secondary market, it is important to ensure you complete the share transfer process. And this is done by filling a signature lodgement form after your first purchase of a particular stock or your first investment in the company on the floor of the Nigerian exchange. On your screen is a sample of a signature lodgement form. It's just a simple form that will be sent to you by your broker to fill. So you just need to fill your details on this form, and the basic details you need to fill first your name, the stock you just invested in, the number of units you bought, your CHN, and you're also required to sign on the transferring portion of the form. Now, to ensure we prevent cases or issues of unclaimed dividends, it is very important to fill this form. And this form can only be processed through your broker. So you send to your broker, in this case, Afrinvest Securities Limited, and will process to the registrars through CSCS. Like I said earlier, if you have any issue or any challenge at all in downloading this form or filling this form, please reach out to us. We'll send you the form and guide you on how to fill it. Now, the second process is by ensuring you fill the respective e-mandate form for your stock. My colleague earlier mentioned this or spoke about this extensively. So the e-mandate form, when filled and processed, mandates the registrars to send all outstanding dividends or dividends due directly to the bank account, your bank account provided on the form. If you have no idea on which of the e-mandate forms to fill, depending on the stock you own, please reach out to us. If you do the search online and you're not comfortable or you still have issues, reach out to us and we'll send you the e-mandate form for that particular stock. On your screen is a sample of the e-mandate form. You still need to fill basic details like your full name, your BVN, your preferred bank account you want this dividends paid into. Your passport photographs needs to also be attached on the form. You sign accordingly. There's also a portion where you need to tick the stock you own or you invested in. After all this has been done, you can send directly to the registrar. She mentioned it earlier during the do it as yourself approach. You can send the form directly to the registrars. Their email addresses are on the form. Or you can also send to your broker and it would help you process. If you have done any of these 2 steps I just mentioned, and you still have not claimed or received your dividends, please reach out to us. We will guide you through the process step by step and also help you sort out any challenge that you might experience. Please reach out to us at brokerageteam@afrinvest.com and we will guide you through. Another good news we have is that we can help recover unclaimed dividends for your deceased loved ones. So not just unclaimed dividends, we can also help recover shares of your deceased loved ones. There are some basic requirements that needs to be provided before we can proceed with this process, one of which is an estate account. You'll be required to create an estate account with your bank. So this is the estate account with your bank is where the proceeds of these shares or dividends will be domiciled. And you also need to also create an estate account both with us and with CSCS. This is where the shares in question or being recovered will be domiciled. There are also some documents that also need to be provided, like letter of administration and other important documents. They are very important. So if you have any issue or any case of unclaimed dividend for a deceased loved one, please reach out to us and we will guide you through the process. Another important question I'm sure we might be asking is, okay, what next after receiving these dividends? What do I do with the proceeds of the dividends claim? Do I go on a shopping spree? Do I go, on a vacation? Do I shut down local bars in my hood? Do I even attend to needs of my village people? What do I actually do with this investment or do with this proceeds of dividends paid? I would say yes, it's good to once in a while spoil yourself, take yourself out on a treat, even reach out to or help attend to the needs of your loved ones, especially in this trying economy. But we are more interested in not just growing your wealth, but sustaining your wealth. And that is why we are offering some investment opportunities in which these reclaimed dividends or earned dividends or even idle funds can be invested in. On your screen are a few of them which we'll just be running through. The first is equity investment. So equity investment simply means investing in shares of companies listed on the Nigerian exchange. For us here at Afrinvest, there's no minimum amount required if you want to invest in the stock market. So all you need to do is just to invest with any amount that suits your portfolio or your objective, and you gradually build your portfolio. So if you're saying, oh, I've earned dividends, what do I do with it? The equity investment is a sure bet for you. You can choose to invest in the same company by buying additional units of the shares you just earn dividends from, or you can choose to also invest in other companies listed on the exchange. And here at Afrinvest, we offer recommendations weekly to aid your decision making. Please, you can feel free to subscribe to us by downloading our app available on Play Store and iOS, Afrinvestor 2.0. You complete the sign-on process and you'll be added to our mailing list. Another option or opportunity available for you is the federal government savings bond. So these are bonds or debt instruments issued by the federal government to encourage investments among retail investors. They have durations of 2 and 3 years, and the coupon or interest are paid quarterly. That's every 3 months. The minimum investable amount for federal government savings bond is 5,000 naira. So why not? It's so easy and so, I wouldn't say cheap, but so affordable for you to invest in. So no matter what and the dividends you earn, you can as well channel the proceeds to the savings bond. We're always here to assist you. Please reach out to us and we'll educate you on the available or the options to take. Another is the treasury bills. So treasury bills are money market instruments issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria with the intention of raising short-term finances for the government. It is also important you invest your funds in treasury bills as they are fully guaranteed by the federal government. They are also discounted instruments, meaning that the interest can be taken up front or invested for you to get a lump sum or a higher sum at maturity. The minimum investable amount for treasury bills for Afrinvest Securities Limited in the secondary market is 100,000 naira, but for the primary market is 50 million naira. So if you're interested in treasury bills, please reach out to us and we'll guide you step by step on how to proceed. Another available option is commercial paper. Commercial papers are offered by corporates looking to raise short-term financing for the government. Tenor ranges between 90 to 270 days, and their rates are relatively higher than treasury bills, mainly because of the risk factor attached. You can also take upfront interest on commercial papers like treasury bills and also reinvest your interest too on commercial papers. If you have or you're interested in any of the above mentioned available offers or investment opportunities, please reach out to us. Our email is displayed on your screen, brokerage@afrinvest.com, and we'll guide you step by step on how to make your money work for you. Thank you very much for listening.
Very much, Michelle, for that brilliant presentation. That was quite impressive. I'm sure my audience have learned so much on this. Just to add a few, right? So this just means that dividend payments can actually birth other portfolios of investment. So from your dividend payments, you can even invest in treasury bills if you're looking at spreading your portfolio or your portfolio or your investment across other sections. So you can actually diversify by collecting your dividends from your dividend payments and investing it in a fixed income instrument. We have varieties of them, just as displayed and taken through by my colleague Michelle. So you can see that there is power in dividend collections. Yeah, you can do so much with your dividends. Thank you very much once again, and thank you, my audience. We are going to take out a few minutes to read out the questions that we have been getting from the comments sessions, right? So I'm just going to be taking these questions randomly. So I have from Gospel Ogum says, what if the company is no longer in existence? Can we claim it? I am asking for a friend whose father used to have dividends in the company he works with, but his father is late now. Sorry about that. Yes, Deborah, please, can you treat Gospel Ogum's question? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Margaret, and thank you, Mr. Gospel. Your question is very valid. So if the company is no longer listed on the exchange, it does not mean that you cannot claim your dividends again. Only just that there are some other processes. This time around, you will not be filling the e-mandate form. You will be requested to visit the registrar of that company, who will guide you on how to claim those dividends. But the good news is you have not lost out on those dividends because the companies are still much in existence, just that they are no longer listed. So you can just check for the registrar of that company, look out for their addresses and visit them. They will guide on how to go about collection.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Mr. Gospel Ogum, I hope that is satisfactory enough. Olushola Adeyinka says, what is the best investment I can do with 200,000? So with 200,000, you can either invest in FGN savings bond or you can invest in the Nigerian Treasury Bill secondary markets. Thank you very much. You can also send us an email and we will guide you further. Thank you very much. We may not be able to take all the questions, and we plead that you should send your questions to our email, brokerageteam@afrinvest.com, as displayed on the screen. Right about now, we will be taking you on a tour on our app, right? Afrinvest is known for innovation. So for any upgrade we do, we have a way, we find a way to discuss and communicate these upgrades to you. So we'll be taking you on a tour on our app to tell you about the new upgrades that we have that is going to be beneficiary to you. My colleague Anel Ojo is going to be taking you on this tour. Hello, Anel. Can you confirm that you are on the call?
Yes, I am.
Okay, please, you can go ahead. Thank you.
All right. Welcome once again, everyone, to the webinar. Good afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed that webinar so far. Thank you, Margaret, for that introduction. Well, as my colleague introduced, my name is Haniel, and I'll be taking us through a quick talk on our Afrinvest 2.0 app. So this webinar is going to enlighten us basically on most of the things we see on the app, but we don't know how to go through it. We're going to be concentrating a little bit on our more icon. On the more icon, we have some options there. We have the watch list, we have our transactions, we have our order history, we have our help and support, and we also have our CSCS details. When we say watch list, what do we mean by watch list? A watch list is a list of items, preferably say your stocks that needs to be monitored, that needs close surveillance. We want to ask, how do we watch list our stock? How do we do this? How do we make it easier for us to check up on stocks that we have interest in, probably to know what the price rating is? For instance, you want to watch list your stock because you have a preference in, say, Wando, you have a preference in Access Core, you have a preference in Zenith, whatever the stock might be. What you have to do, you just have to watch list that stock. So it makes it easier for you to go through it every day. And to aid your investment decision, we always advise our clients to go through our closing stock prices for the day, which is sent out around 2:30 p.m. That's after closing as the market. So how do you watch list your stock? When you are successfully signed in on your app, you go to your invest button, click on your Nigerian stocks, whatever your stocks preference is. For the sake of this webinar, we're going to be using Access Core, which is highlighted there. All you have to do is tap on Access Core. At the top right corner of the app, you're going to see your love emoji, or should I say your love sign. Tap on it, it's going to load. Afterwards, it's going to be displayed as white. Once it is done, you know that yes, it's actually successful. The next thing we have as our transactions. What does it entail? It gives us a detailed description of everything we've done on the app right from inception, meaning all transactions that has been done while we opened the app. Was it withdrawals? Was it your deposits? Are there pending withdrawals? It gives you a detailed list of everything. It's just like we have in our banking apps. We can always go through our transactions history to see the transactions that probably we sent to our loved ones or were received by people. That is what this transaction history does for us. The next thing you're going to be looking at is our order history. The order history is just like your CSCS statement. It gives you a list of all transactions, all trades that have been done on the app. You can see those that were executed, those that are pending, those that are still in the market, means those that are pending. That's what we mean by stocks that are pending, meaning they haven't gone through. Probably those that were imputed at a limit period, good for 3 days, as the case may be, whatever your preference might be. For the purpose of this webinar, we're going to portray on the fact that if you make a mistake in the, should I say, when you're doing a trade, for instance, you wanted to buy Access Core at a limit price of 13.5 Naira, but within the time frame, we can see that yes, it has probably changed. The price is no longer that amount. You can quickly go ahead to cancel it on your own without the aid of any of us at the team. All you just have to do is click on the stock you want to cancel for, say, Access Core. Below the button, below the transaction, below your trade rather, you will see a cancel option, which is highly canceled. And let's bear it at the back of our mind that we have to do this for it to be successful within market hours. What do I mean by within market hours? I mean from the hours of 10 a.m. to 2:20 p.m. Once we do it outside of these hours, it's not going to be successful. So for us to achieve our aim it should be done within hours. If you're having any issues with it, you can always contact us through brokerage team at afrinvest.com. We can do it back end for you. The next thing we're going to be talking about is our CSCS details, which has been mentioned by my colleague Deborah. You can find it on the file. You're going to see it. What you have there, you have your CSCS number and you have your CHN. Your CHN means your clearinghouse number. So get these details on the app. It is not instant. It doesn't mean that once you create your app, you're going to save it. No. Once you're successfully signed in on the Afrinvest 2.0 app and you get a notification from us, you usually get a notification of welcome to Afrinvest 2.0. What it means is that it's going to take about 72 working hours for your CSCS details to be ready. And once it's available, once it's been linked back in, you're going to see it popped up on your Afrinvest 2.0. And I'm going to also emphasize on this, please, when signing up on the app, endeavor to use a commercial bank details. What do I mean by that? Use banks like Access Bank, Zenith Bank, Stanbic IBTC. Once you use all these online banks like Kuda or OPay, it's not going to go through because CSCS does not allow those banks. What is usually available or what is usually prescribed for that is a commercial bank details. Once you do this, you're going to get it under 72 working hours. And for the sake where you don't get it, know that it is probably due to network issues from the portal. That is why it is not yet ready. If it passes this stipulated time, that's 72 hours, you can always reach out to us and we'll look at it and give you a feedback. Next option we have is our help and support. This practically just helps, makes it easier for our clients to relate with us. All you just have to do is click on it and send us your queries or your complaints, and we are going to respond to you immediately. For the sake of this webinar, we talked about reclaiming your outstanding dividends. For you to do this, you can just subscribe to our AfriTrack, which is also on the app. How do you go through the AfriTrack app? All you have to do is click on your invest, where you see your Nigerian stocks, treasury bills, and commercial papers. The AfriTrack is the last option. Click on it, sign up, read through everything, whatever you're interested in. Is it reclaiming your outstanding dividends? Is it doing whatever your choice might be, probably estate account and the rest of it? Once you're done, click on I'm interested, sign up. You can do your payments via it. And once you're done, send us a message as brokerage@afrinvest.com and we'll get you started with. Thank you for this. Also, I forgot to mention, please, yes, we get people that say, I did a transaction of 200,000. You said your app is instant and all that. For you to get instant withdrawal, the maximum amount you're going to do that's going to go as at that time is 100,000 naira. Once you're doing anything above 100,000 naira, know that it is not going to be instant. It's going to take some hours, say an hour thereabouts, for it to be deposited into your bank account. So if you want to do, for instance, 200,000, it is advisable you do it in tranches. What do I mean by tranches? Do the first one, 100,000 naira, and do it again. Immediately your funds are going to be deposited into your account. Thank you for having us and thank you for this.
Thank you very much, Anya, for that. So it was indeed a tour, and it was indeed a tour, and we are glad that you took us through this tour and how we can increase our knowledge on the app. Thank you. We have ample of time to take all your questions and answers. I'll be reading further questions regarding the webinar, the topic, uncovering forgotten assets and turning this forgotten assets, which are your dividends, into financial gains. Thank you for staying on the show. I have a question from Fatima Chado. She says, can I claim my dividend from Oceanic Bank? My dad has shares with them. Michelle, kindly confirm you can hear me. Please, can you speak on this? And also, please, you can indicate by a raise of hand, and we will give you opportunity to speak. So if you have any question, comments regarding the webinar topic, please kindly indicate by a raise of hand, and we will give you the opportunity to speak. I can see hands are raised.
Yes, Margaret. Yes, thank you for that question. Yes, we can help you claim your outstanding dividends from Oceanic Bank. Please send us an email and we'll send you the e-mandate form for the stock so you can fill and process and claim your outstanding dividends.
Okay, thank you very much. So I can see Yekini Adiza. Kindly unmute to speak. Thank you. Hello, Yekini Adiza.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Yekini Adisa. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. I am Yekini Adisa. Now, the question is, someone bought shares in some company years back. Those days that a certificate was issued, but we cannot locate the certificate, and it has and the company has been paying dividend. How can such a person goes on to collect his dividend, unclaimed dividend? Thank you.
Okay,
that's my question.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yekini Adiza. Hello, Deborah. Can you attend to the question?
Hello, Margaret. Yeah, thank you, sir. Mr. Adiza, thank you for being on this call. So the days of certificates, like you said, you could no longer locate those certificates. The good news, you don't even need those certificates again, sir. You don't need them again because there are processes in place now, electronic process that would help you to search for those certificates. We will help you. At Afrinvest, we have a service that we offer our clients. We call it AfriTrack. A colleague of mine mentioned it while on this call. You can sign up for AfriTrack. AfriTrack helps you to trace back all of your lost certificates, all your investments in shares that you could not tell their whereabouts. We will help you gather them. And when we gather them, we dematerialize them on your behalf into your CSCS. It means that we are going to create a CSCS account for you where all the shares that you have invested in, even when you do not remember the name, sometimes you can just issue us a go-ahead by signing up on our AfriTrack service. There is a process we will conduct for you, a global search process that would allow us to know what and what are the shares that you have invested in. Anything bearing your name in the record of CSCS will be reported for you, and then we can go ahead with that report to conduct a dematerialization. When your shares have been dematerialized to your CSCS, then you can start the process of claiming all the dividends. In as much as these dividends have not gone statute bar, we guarantee you that you would get them back. So that is how to go about it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deborah. The next person on my poll is Chinyere Chukwu. Hello, Chinyere Chukwu. Kindly unmute to speak.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Chinyere.
Okay, I want to ask on behalf of my dad, because he started the process, was it 2 months ago? He has filled the dematerialization form and submitted. So since then, we've not gotten any reply. And this month, I sent a reminder. I've not gotten any reply from them. I don't know if there's any other thing we need to do.
Okay, thank you very much, Chinyere. Chinyere, kindly forward the documents that you have you forwarded to the registrar to our email address, brokerage@afrinvest.com, and we'll look at it and maybe we'll present it to the registrar, and then we'll get back to you with the feedback. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. The next on my pool is Modupe Ola. I'm sorry for merging your name, Oshinowo. I'll allow you to speak now. Kindly unmute and ask your question.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you? And thank you for the web seminar. Sorry, I've got so my question is I've got a couple of questions. Some of them you've answered. Please give me 1 minute. I've got my grandchild here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I just want to find out what happens. I bought a couple of shares in 2009, 2008, 2009. And most of them I bought through IPO. And so because of the Nigerian factor, I didn't get the shares. Some of the shares never came. And so I don't have some share certificates. I think I have a record of most of the shares that I bought. And I've gone on to the unclaimed dividend. So I have some of the details there, but not all of the details. And I'm just wondering, I know you've said that we could get in touch with you. So first, how do we sign up with you? If I want to sign up, how do I sign up to get all this and get information about your charges? Secondly, there's some of those shares that have gone bust. You've talked about Oceanic, and I've heard that comment. Things like Dunlop, I don't have any record that they are existing anywhere at all. So how do one claim dividend on such shares? And can one go back? Because you said anything after 12 years may not be claimed back. So is it 12 years till now or anything? So could I still claim back things backdated 10 years or backdated 12 years? So that's my question.
Thank you very much, madam. I'll have my colleague Deborah to treat your question. Thank you.
Hello, Madam Oshino. Thank you, Ma. Thank you for your time on the call. So, like you said, some of these questions we have already treated. Signing up to be able to know what our fees, our charges are like, is simply saying open an account with Afrinvest. This can be done in two simple ways. You are either downloading our app, Afrinvest 2.0, that is available on your Play Store or on Apple App Store. If you are using an iPhone, you can download and then go on to fill out the questions to signing up. There are like 3 documents that you'll be needing. You'll be needing a copy of a government valid ID card. It could be your driver's license. It could be a copy of your data page on your international passport. And it could be NIN card. Any government issued ID card is valid for use. And a copy of your utility bill is also important, like 3 months old utility bill. Just showing us the address that you have filled on the form is where you live. That is the essence of that. Then the third thing is a recent passport photograph. Those 3 things, if you're going to be signing up via the app, it's advisable that you get them ready on your phone so that as soon as you get on the prompt, you are supplying this document. The other alternative is the form. We can also send you a form. You can send us an email, brokerage@afrinvest.com. We'll send you our editable form. You do not need to print this. It's a PDF editable form that you can easily fill out on your computer with all the details of your biodata, bank account details, and everything to get your account ready for you. So once you have signed up to become a client with Afrinvest, we go over to the process of claiming or recovering all those certificates that you were talking about. You know, you bought them via IPO, but then it does not mean that you cannot still search for them and get them. Our service, AfriTrack, as I said before, that's the essence of that service. We go all out on behalf of our clients to help them to recover all lost certificates, to help them to recover unclaimed dividends, to help them to dematerialize these certificates. So when you sign up, you will sign up on the AfriTrack service, and then we can commence on the process of claiming all those things for you. Then the second thing, Margaret, can you remind me what the second question is?
Okay, she also bought shares in Oceanic, if I remember. And
okay, Oceanic and companies that have been delisted. For the sake of Oceanic, the company was taken over by EcoBank. So Oceanic is still, in a way, though indirectly still in effect, is still operating, but in the new name of EcoBank. So EcoBank is currently in the market, and it means your shares are with the registrars of EcoBank. So by the time we are tracking those things via the AfriTrack service, we would also locate that any shares that you have bought in Oceanic will now be reported as EcoBank shares. For Dunlop and for any other one that has been delisted and is no longer active, the registrars alone can tell what the process to do or to go about claiming all of this are. But for any company that was taken over by another firm that is in existence, it's very simple to track. So I hope that answers your question, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to mention at this time, you wanted addresses with utility bills. I do not currently live in Nigeria. So how do you go about that?
Okay. So as a foreign resident, you also have utility bills or any form of documentation that shows you are a non-resident of Nigeria. We will only need you to notarize these documents. They are also valid, but you will have to notarize them.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Thank you. And for the recordings of this webinar is going to be sent to all our attendees. Thank you very much. As we'll be wrapping up right about now, we are so happy that you took out time to join this webinar, and we are glad that you have learned one or two things from this webinar. And I want to believe that as you live here, you are living as an investor who can claim and take all his or her dividend that are either pending or that are unclaimed. Thank you once again. On behalf of Afrinvest Securities Limited, we want to wish you a wonderful season as we approach it, and a beautiful new year to come. Thank you. Until next time, I'll be your host again, Margaret Onacho, and say bye for now.